Can you describe some of the best practices you have for serving employers?
The biggest part is identifying and speaking to both the employer as well as the customer's needs. I start with perfect fitted questions. I ask the employer, what does a typical day-to-day look like? What are the top 3 skill sets that you're looking for in this job? What's a best versus average candidates? All of that to make sure that I'm delivering a perfect fitted candidate their way, as well as understanding the environment and culture so that when I send the customer over to the employer, that it's meeting both needs.
When you say understanding the culture and environment of employer, what are some of the things you do to actually do that?
I like to meet with the hiring manager. Sometimes I will get a tour of the site, so that kind of helps me illustrate the environment a little bit more for the customer. And I also like to talk to other coworkers on site just to see how they're liking it, what are expectations.
Some of these practices you've developed, how have you found that they've actually fit the employer's needs?
The biggest thing is when I fill it, they stay there. So retention's really important, probably the biggest part of my job, but also my relationship with employers.
What are some of the things you can do after that person gets the job to make sure that there's still a good relationship between that employer and that employee?
Following up with both the customer as well as the employer. I start with give it first 2 weeks. After that, maybe a month and a half after the honeymoon stage is over with the employer, just to see how it's going. There have been times where the employer had maybe some concerns, and I was able to communicate that with the customer so that it didn't get to a situation where it escalated to being a layoff or being let go.
Is building a relationship with the employer, is that part of retention?
Yes, it is definitely part of retention because there's times where my customer or participant becomes unemployed for whatever reason, so it's really important for me to get them employed before they're done with the retention period.
How important as a retention specialist to make sure that the people that we're serving and putting to work are self-sufficient?
It's very important. Whether they're employed or not employed, they need to know what kind of resources they need to go to if they get to that situation. I have them go through a budget sheet, and it actually goes down to all the way to the detail of your utility bill, gym membership, as well as even pet food, every little detail, so that they know where they need to cut. Whenever they get in that situation, they know how to use that budget sheet. And then if they really do need help, there's other outside resources in the community.